Welcome everyone, Jack here, founder of collegeconsulting.us, and as we transition to late springtime here, I figured it was important that I do a video on what to do with your summers because it varies significantly grade by grade. Here, I've got a document. I will link to this in the description so you all can have it, and I'm going to go through it grade by grade. What you will notice is it builds. So there's some items that you can and should do between your 9th and 10th grade summer, and then really those same items will apply for every summer. It's just we're going to add on as we continue to go. So first and foremost, if you want more detailed information about themes like exploring your passion, which I'm going to get into, I put a link for the entirely free College Confidence community. As of this recording, we have 229 members inside here, and what you'll see is if you click on the community, you'll see there's a lot of valuable resources in here. Parents and students alike going back and forth, providing value, helping each other out. It's been pretty fun to be a part of as we've had it now the last few months. There's also a classroom, entirely free classroom where you can go in and actually click and learn more about some of these things that we discussed, particularly what I'll call out here. If you go into fall of junior year, I have 2 modules on exploring your passion. 2.2a and 2.2 that should help. Parents of high schoolers, real quick, and then I'll get you right back to this video. If you are finding value from the video, I have one request because I'm never going to run ads on these videos, I promise. And so my one way to really share these videos to the masses is to ask you for a favor. Do you mind sharing this with any other high school parents that you know might need help? You can do that by directly sharing, like via, just texting the link to the video, or you can also share on your socials like Instagram or Facebook. It would mean a lot to me. And lastly, if you're really getting value and you want to make sure that you're subscribed, you can click the like button, the subscribe button. It'll help the algorithms let you know when my next video is released. Now, back to more value. But with that, let's get into it. Theme, summer between 9th and 10th grade. And again, if you say, oh, well, I have a junior, so I'm going to skip right down, I actually recommend you don't, because you're going to see it just builds. So I'm going to say everything that applies in 9th and 10th grade summer will apply in 10th and 11th, but there's just going to be more. So between your 9th and 10th grade summer, there's really one common theme, and that is to explore your passions. That's it. Explore your passions. Now, the next question I get is, okay, how does one do that, Jack? Here are just several of the options that I typically present to my students, but if you are watching this and you come up with other ones, that's great too. Colleges eventually just want to see that a student is self-motivated and willing to explore things they're interested in, because those characteristics help make them a great student who adds to a collegiate community. Number 1, easiest thing, read. Take something that you're interested in, read about it. Read multiple books about it, right? Go to the library, figure out what you might be interested in, and just start reading. Even if that thing isn't academic, that's okay, because ultimately your goal is to just show that you have passions in life and you're willing to explore them on your own without someone like a teacher in school telling you have to. Another way to explore passions is you can go through summer programs. There are paid summer programs, there are free summer programs, there are online summer programs, there are in-person summer programs. You'll see here I link to our preferred partners doc. I'll bring that up right now. If you go to line in here, now you'll see we have everything from standardized testing support to tutoring, college essay coaching, all of this. But if you scroll to lines 16 all the way to 24, so it's a lot of them, I put in there my favorite summer opportunities. You'll see a lot of these are paid for summer programs. Be clear that it is not mandatory. Every year, students get into Harvard without doing a single paid for summer program. So if you're watching this and you're thinking the only way for my student to get into a top-rated school is to pay for them to do a summer program as a freshman, that's absolutely not the case. I'm just listing opportunities because if you do have that financial freedom and you're interested, there are a lot of top-rated summer programs that certainly can help. There also are summer programs that all of tuition is paid for and free. Those typically are the hardest to get into, such as the Clark Scholars Program, etc. Anyway, I'm not going to go into these in this video, but feel free if you're interested and you're watching this to go check out lines 16 to 24 in this sheet. It's entirely available for you. You can go do some more research. Perhaps a summer program could be a fit for your child. Other things to explore your passions. Online courses are fantastic. If your child's not a reader, but they will watch videos and explore in that way, great. Khan Academy has a ton of free courses. Coursera has a ton of free courses. And there's edX.org, which has a ton of free courses. A great way for someone to explore their passion over a summer, especially if something like a summer program, or as you'll see down here, a job or internship just isn't a possibility, which kind of makes sense. Summer between freshman and sophomore year is usually tricky to find opportunities in some of these areas. So doing this route is always available. Another way to explore passions, jobs or internships, right? This shows that you walk the walk and don't just talk the talk, right? This shows that you're at least just putting yourself out there. Now, I have this caveat. As a freshman, it may be difficult to lock in an impressive looking job or internship. That's okay, right? I think it's important to realize that there's a time and place for everything, and freshmen can be freshmen, which means there are many big picture aspects or lessons learned that a student can get, or a freshman can get from just scooping ice cream or lifeguarding. As long as they're thinking about what they're doing and they can take those nuggets and apply them in, honestly, an eventual incredible college essay. Some of the best I've seen about those are about those kind of typical summer jobs, right? It doesn't have to be some like epic internship where you're working in Silicon Valley for a startup. Sometimes scooping ice cream can lead to the best college essays, or then you can extrapolate your lessons learned from scooping ice cream to, as a student matures and really starts to figure out what they like, what one or two things about scooping ice cream did you enjoy? It might not have been the scooping, but maybe it was the interacting with customers. And now all of a sudden a student can start saying, well, for sophomore summer, between sophomore and junior year, how could I perhaps use that experience of how much I liked interacting with customers to maybe one-up the game on my summer job, right? So there are a lot of things to do. Don't think that your child has to get the most notable job or internship, especially as a freshman. Another way, I call this the self-created summer. I love a good self-created summer. Here's just some examples of a self-created summer, right? If a student says, you know what, I think I might be passionate or interested in like business, try to launch a lawn mowing company. One of two things will happen. Student will either succeed, and that's going to look really impressive, or the student will fail. And guess what? They're going to have a lot of lessons learned that they can, again, take back to eventual college essays or extrapolate to future summers. Here are things that I failed last summer. When I try again the next summer, here's how I'll perfect that, right? Colleges just want to see that a student is willing to try. So lawn mowing, house painting, there are a lot of different summer jobs that a student can start. That's just one. Interested in writing? Start a blog about anything. Seriously, anything. It can be about your favorite TV show. And just commit to writing one single blog a week. Share that blog out with your family, etc. And here's the thing. It's so much less about, how many people are viewing my blog on a daily basis. And so much more about, if you're interested in writing, you can certainly read about writing. You can take courses on writing. But talk about walking the walk, right? You can do that. You can start a blog. Anyone can start a blog. Are you interested in computer science? You can commit to learning a new coding language. And here's the thing, give yourself consistent study sessions. So you say, okay, my self-created summer, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm the most productive between noon and 2 p.m. And those days, that's when I'm going to teach myself, a new coding language. And again, if you're saying, well, where can I learn new coding languages? Look up here. Got plenty of options. I'm sure there are also others. These are just 3. I could go on and on. Interested in arts, interested in video production, interested in, right? You name it. You can probably find some sort of self-created summer. You can also mix and match a lot of these, right? You can mix and match a lot of these where, I want to learn computer science 2 days a week while I also get a job and scoop ice cream. Lots of different ways. Now, common questions. I have no idea what I'm passionate about. This is the most common question that I get. First of all, again, if you have no idea what you're passionate about, highly, highly, highly encourage you go to the entirely free College Confidence community. These 2 modules, Category 4 of admissions, your story, and this different is greater than difficult exercise are 2 of the most popular in my premium program, and I just give them away for free. I think they're really, really valuable and might help a student figure out what they maybe are passionate with. But if you don't want to go there, then here are just a couple answers. Think about what your favorite classes are, what you enjoy doing outside of school. what TV shows or movies you like, books you like, hobbies you explore, anything. Just start thinking about what interests you. What types of, pictures are hanging on the wall in your bedroom? That might be a hint at what you maybe are interested in, right? Like, look here, there's a map behind me on the wall where I have pins of where I've traveled. If that is something like in your bedroom, maybe you can figure out, how can I explore the world of travel? And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to travel like crazy. You can learn about different avenues of travel, right? A lot of ways you can go about this. Another way that you can try to figure out what maybe you're interested in is what I call the Saturday morning test. Copied this directly from the different is greater than difficult exercise, but here's how the Saturday morning test works. Picture yourself in the middle of the school year. You wake up on a Saturday morning with the entire day in front of you. To make it more fun, you've got zero homework, zero things, obligations, etc. 100% free day. I've actually started to add in this world of cell phones, etc. I've started to say you cannot access your cell phone and you cannot access your computer or any type of screen. What you do with your day, list anywhere from 3 to 10 passions, right? It's amazing when you actually put students in the mindset of the Saturday morning test, how all of a sudden they say, oh, wow, okay, yeah, what would I really do? And the answer to that question might be something then, once you have that, right, then figure out, okay, if you have 2 or 3 or 4 things that you list here, how can you use one or more of these avenues to explore that further? And then lastly, I'm just going to say, still don't know, just pick something, anything. If you need to, write 10 different things and eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or have a friend pick one for you. It's so much more. It's kind of like when people go hiking, it's so much less about getting to the top. Getting to the top is obviously a tiny part of it, but it's a lot more about the process of getting to the top. And I think if you asked any kind of avid hiker, they would say, if you could just drop me from a helicopter on the top, it kind of loses its value, right? This is the same thing. Finding what you're passionate about for some people might come easier, for some people might come harder. But to be honest, this entire process is so much less about you creating the blog example for writing. It's so much more about you figuring out if you're really passionate about writing. That journey of figuring it out is important. And so if you still go through all this and you're like, I have no idea, guess what? Pick something. Explore. If you end up hating it, process of elimination, congratulations. You're one passion project away from realizing that I don't like that. Okay? And by the way, what I see oftentimes is even a random thing, when you get into it enough, you commit to it and actually then you decide that you actually do like it. So really, it's a win-win. Just pick something. All right, now the other ones here are going to be a little shorter because, as you can see, it's all going to build. So let's move on. 10th to 11th grade summer. Theme, explore your passions, same as above. And now we're just going to add, think about standardized testing. So it's everything I just went over in the previous one. And again, if somehow you've skipped here because you're like, oh, my child's between 10th and 11th and you skipped, go back. Because everything I just explained about exploring your passions was for the last 13 minutes. I'm not going to go over it again. But between 10th and 11th grade summer, we're adding something. And this is why you can see starting the college planning process early is the single most important factor to doing well in this whole process, enjoying it, having fun with it, succeeding in it, because it builds. Stacking rocks. I use that phrase a lot in my program. Everything previous summer, but think about standardized testing. So what does that mean? To plan for upcoming standardized testing, I recommend you get a baseline score of each test. Put in here. ACT, SAT. Get a baseline score to determine which you prefer. You can take the test blind if you want. You can actually go, I have a YouTube video on this. You can go to my YouTube channel, see past videos. I have an entire video on why I think it's important to get a baseline score. Take each test once, blind. You can either do that as a practice test if you can really simulate a testing environment in your home, or sign up, take a real test. If you get a 0, it does not matter. You have score choice. You don't have to submit it. But the point is to figure out which test is for you. And actually, the earlier you can figure that out, the better, because you can then completely eliminate the other test. Go all in on studying for the right one. Okay. If you're able to do that, then the next steps, and yes, this might bleed into sophomore year fall or even sophomore year winter, and that's okay. But again, I'm giving ideal scenario. You find a test, and then you actually sign up for the test, for a real test as a sophomore. Because what that'll do is that'll put kind of a landmark in your mind where you say, okay, I know this is on the early side. Right? A lot of people think standardized testing is only junior year, but it'll give you a landmark sometime sophomore year. If you're ahead of the game, sign up for it in fall of sophomore. If you're, kind of on pace, I would say winter or spring of sophomore year. But I really would recommend you just get that test locked in. Sign up for it so you know it's on the calendar, and then that'll allow you motivation to come up with a study plan. You can see on my preferred partners document, by the way, I have several test prep companies that I fully recommend. I personally vetted them. And you can see here, you can go check them all out. But there basically are 3 methods of a study plan. I'd say 13 years of doing this now, it's about a third that I see with students. Self-study. It's free or nearly free, right? I recommend either, if you're going to go kind of the more paperback book, the official SAT or ACT guides, or if you're going the digital route, Khan Academy. And yes, now, by the way, we're transitioning into this phase where the SAT is going to go digital. You can check out College Board. They're starting to post some more digital questions, but the full tests, right, it'll take a little bit of time for there to be legitimate online study materials for the digital SAT. Second method is kind of virtual group study. This became much more, I would say, successful and professionally put together post-COVID era when a lot of tutor companies had to go virtual. So now they're actually really good. The technology is there. The Q&A system is there. So a lot of my families have had a lot of success with this. It also allows you to pick from the best test prep companies in the world, because if you're in California and you find one in Boston, you can just hire that company. And then the last one is obviously in-person tutor. So if you go this route, you can take a look at my preferred partners if you're interested. I get 0 commissions on any of that. I just put them out there because these are all test prep companies that I can personally vouch for. Common questions for this summer. Does standardized testing still matter in a test optional world? Yes, it does. It's not for this video, but if you would like to hear why, and you'd like to hear the explanation why, here's a webinar I recently did to answer this question. You can click on that link and actually watch as Larry Chung and I do a deep dive on the data that we have seen that supports the fact that standardized testing certainly still does matter in the college admissions landscape these days. All right, now, summer between 11th and 12th grade. The theme here, freshman year, sophomore year, all of the same. Those aren't going away, right? Now, the only way this would go away, by the way, is if you hypothetically get a perfect score or an elite score sophomore year and you're just done with standardized testing. So hypothetically, that could go away. This will not go away because it's important you continue to explore your passions. But you'll see here, now we're adding, write your Common App personal statement and get your Common App to 90% complete. So again, it's everything between 10th and 11th grade summer plus writing your Common App personal statement start to finish. This is the 650-word essay that will go to every college or nearly every college you apply to. The time to write your Common App personal statement. If you take nothing away from this video, it is this. The time to write your Common App personal statement between June 1st, your summer between junior and senior year, and September 1st. You'll notice I don't recommend starting before June 1st. Why? I've seen a lot of students. I used to say, yeah, you can start it if you're ready, by April between junior and senior year. Several reasons. First, technically the Common App some years doesn't release their prompts until actually as it gets closer to the summer. Now, as I'm recording this video, we know what all the prompts are. It's come out that the prompts are going to be the same as last year, so that's not an issue. But the real issue is I have found the Common App personal statement, writing it well, takes all of a student's mental capacity. And when a student is finishing their junior year AP tests and studying for finals and dealing with school and dealing with sports, et cetera, it's not 100% mental capacity. So I strongly encourage a student wait until junior year is complete, like done, then even take a week break, enjoy life, and then dive all in. So whether that's June 1st or June 10th, whatever it is, the goal is to write your essay over the summer, start to finish. In our paid-for program, we have a 6-week essay writing boot camp, start to finish. But the important thing is by Labor Day, every single one of our juniors about to be seniors have pasted their Common App in their Common App personal statement in the Common App. Done, locked in. Most students will wait until senior fall to write that. But guess what? Senior fall is super stressful. You've got sports. You might be finishing your SAT or ACT. You might be visiting schools, etc. Get that essay done. General theme, by the way, of writing this thing, the more fun you have writing it, the more impressive it'll be. Seriously, the Common App personal statement is much more about how you write versus what you write. There are 7 prompts for a reason. Common App does not care what you write on. Seriously, you can write on any of the 7. It's much more about how you write. And the best essays that I have seen in 13 years of seeing essays are the ones where it's so incredibly obvious the student just super enjoyed the topic that they're writing on. So, if you want more advice, here are 2 people that I promote. Okay, College Essay Guy, College Essay Advisors. I think they both have fantastic curriculums on how to write a killer college essay. Again, I get no commissions or anything. I just put them in here because I think they're great. And I review a lot of thoughts on the college essay. But in general, if you were to tell your high schooler one thing, it's pick a topic that the high schooler will actually enjoy writing on, because that, more than anything, will come across in the writing. Second addition is get your Common App to 90% complete. Okay. Now, what does this actually mean? So first of all, there's the Common App, right? So this means like going in and actually creating an account. I'll actually put that in here. Create an account. All right. So go in, create an account. Make sure that you know what the Common App is. You're logged in. You've got your entire portal, all of that. Okay? commonapp.org. Then you'll go in and you'll fill in all the little forms, name, address, birth date, etc., etc. There are a lot of these. You will also fill out the activities section. You'll also fill out the honors and awards section. You'll also fill out the additional information section. And yes, as you can see above, you will also write the personal statement and put it into the Common App. This takes some time, but it's all things that you can do and should do the summer between your junior and senior year. Again, if you're waiting until the fall to do these things, the whole process just gets that much more stressful. Now, what makes up the 10% that isn't complete? Because it's 90%. So like, Jack, why isn't it 100? Well, it's the supplemental essays. So most colleges these days, most elite colleges these days, have additional supplemental essay questions beyond the Common App personal statement. This is the example of why do you want to attend Vanderbilt. These essays typically aren't released until mid-August. And so because of that, you really can't write them in like as early as you can write the personal statement starting in June. On top of that, I also think it's important to actually prioritize these in order of when you'll be applying. That's for another video, but there's windows of application like early action, early decision, regular decision, etc. And really, you should prioritize in senior fall finishing the supplemental essay questions for the schools you're going to apply to first. So that makes up the 10%. It is the last bit of essay writing that you'll do. But again, 99% of high school juniors about to be seniors will wait to do all of this until senior fall. I was one of them. I actually did write my Common App personal statement, but I did not get this done until senior fall. And it became stressful. I know what it is like. So again, I'm speaking from experience. I was on the wrong side of this. Looking back, this isn't that difficult, but it does take consistent effort. But here's the thing. Most juniors about to be seniors, when do they have more time? Over the summer. As soon as senior fall starts, it is 6 a.m. wake ups all the way to 8 p.m. get homes, especially if you're, doing after school sports, etc. Now, if you want to learn about the many application windows that I discussed, I said that's for another video. At some point, maybe I'll make a video on it. But guess what? There actually already is a video on it, and you can click right here. It's entirely free. I put a screenshot in here. The many application windows. It's a 28-minute lesson. If you go into the classroom, go to section 5, then you can see here the many application windows rolling, regular decision, early action, early decision, and there's even early decision 2, which I talk about. You can have that entirely free if you are interested. So, there it is. That's what to do with your summers. Quick summary. Explore your passions between 9th and 10th grade. Explore your passions and think about standardized testing between 10th and 11th grade. Explore your passions, think about standardized testing and all things Common App. Summer between 11th and 12th grade. Obviously, sprinkle in campus visits, learning about schools, etc. in there. You're looking good. Hope this helps. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to click like. Feel free to subscribe. That will make sure that the YouTube algorithm gives you my next video. And if you want, put in the comments what you want to see in my future videos. I love making these. I release one of them a week, and I might just take your recommendation and make another video on it. All right, the link for this entire document will be in the description, and so will this as well. Until next time, enjoy.